community, you know, one step towards making knowledge accessible. All right, so looks we are good. 3, 2, 1. All right, so let me share my screen and we are good to go. You can see my screen. All right, so couple of things about ArchiDAO. Like we are aiming towards becoming a decentralized architecture studio of the future, where like it's if you are in our Discord, you know, whatever design ideas, whatever initiatives you have, like we have community and people who work together to make those ideas happen into reality. And we have a very Web3 native approach to things we developed. So apart from designing things, we are also like building tools, building libraries, and making the infrastructure happen for all the designers to like and empower them in this decentralized design studio of the future. So uh, we we have like few areas which we are working in our like primary focus. So like we are pretty much into this physical digital space where like as David mentioned, like vision of CityDAO with like having the metaverse design first where people participate and share ideas and then realize in physical world. Like we are working on that infrastructure, and also like projects like this cafe in New York where they did fundraising with NFT, and now they asked like what would be a space where their community who are NFT holders are distributed globally. There might be uh, possibility where a lot of this their NFT holders might not experience the space in real life. So how can we have this a new accessibility where community who are physically present but also virtually present can socialize as well as experience the space to make every interaction accessible. So apart from that physical digital design and development, we are also metaverse agnostic. If you check out our YouTube channel, we have like content covering all the major metaverses, and like we just want to empower creators to get started in this metaverse economy and like uh, avoid reduce the onboarding experience. We have a research section. Okay, why do yeah, so Hiri and Simon, who is part of uh like ArchiDAO, like made this really amazing project which is like the Europe's first 3D printed concrete house. And they were questioning what if a fractionalized digital real estate in with NFT ownership looks like. What if this can be massively adopted at scale where the community is building 3D printed houses, or also the NFT holder gets like ownership of, and also make have a say in like how the space is being used, with additional perks of you can live that in that space. So you can actually book a night in their 3D printed uh, hotel unit. It's called Provoke. You can search on Google how they built it. And fortunately, Hiri will be covering some of this in this workshop too. Yeah, and a lot of our content is out on YouTube. So one of the thing which we saw missing is there were like people talking about network state decentralized city, and we wanted like to bring architectural voices together to brainstorm and think about, okay, we have this decentralized city development, what about the laws, what about the codes, what about the community, and those kind of things. We wanted to initiate those discussions, so we started this network state study group session by a couple of months ago, and a lot of the discussions are out on our YouTube as well. So there are a lot of knowledge which we bring from Web2 world, which can be useful in this Web3 development. So we want to facilitate that. And we have like some very cutting edge researchers in our DAO, like starting from Theodore Dunas. He's a professor, and he has been talking about DAO in architecture, BIM, NFT back in like couple of years ago. So we have like some OGs in this space. And yeah, we do educational workshops like this. So thanks a lot for joining this workshop. So in today's workshop, the focus is first we'll cover the basic overview of Decentraland and what are the nodes and things to be aware about in that metaverse space. Second, he will be also covering Provoke project, which I mentioned briefly, the 3D, how he got that project into Decentraland Metaverse, the workflows, because like if we all know all these workflows, then we can use any of the asset we have in our own 3D modeling software, which we are comfortable and get into this metaverses. So we have that. And after that, we will cover Rhino Grasshopper to Decentraland workflow, and then we'll have like 15 to 20 minutes breakout session where Hidi and I will like discuss one-to-one with you guys if you have any like assets or questions which about bringing your asset uh, uh, to the metaverse. And lastly, I'll end up with some like high level overview with advanced things you can do in Decentraland, starting from smart assets to like coding with the Decentraland SDK. So I'll give. And one thing I forgot is ArchiDAO is also participating in NASA Mars channel. So I see Moore's comment about 3D map of Mars, and I realize, oh, I forgot about this ongoing initiative we have in our DAO. So Hiri can elaborate more on what we are doing in that space. So all hands over to Hiri.
Okay, thank you very much, Mayur, for a great introduction. That was amazing. And I think we can start with Decentraland, right? So, quick question for all of you. How many people already entered Decentraland? Can you raise a hand, those who entered the Decentraland? Okay, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have some people who entered, some who didn't. So first I'll share my screen and show you how to enter the Decentraland, and we will do a basic introduction so you know what we are talking about. So Mayur, can you please allow me screen sharing?
My bad.
That's fine.
Can you do now?
Perfect, yes. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yep.
Great. Also into the Zoom chat, I send a link which goes here. And here you have all the source files which we gonna maybe play with or yeah, use them. And here are useful links for the websites we gonna use. So the first one is just the Decentraland link, which takes you here. And to enter Decentraland as easy as possible, we just go for Explore on web. We will not download it for a desktop version, and we can play as a guest. So by continuing as a guest, it will not prompt a MetaMask wallet or anything like that. It will ask us for an avatar creation and the name of the avatar. So here you can see, wait, I'll minimize it somewhere, or I'll maybe do this. Wait, how can I, yeah, perfect. So I can pick somebody, yeah, this looks pretty cool. Then I click done. It takes some time, and then it should take me to the Decentraland. Decentraland is one of the oldest metaverses, so it has a maybe too many Decentralands here. And maybe I'll turn this off as well. Okay, it asks me for a name, so I'll just name it like trial, okay, whatever. You have to agree to all these things. The metaverse in Decentraland is pretty cool because it's being run by Decentraland DAO. So you can actually get part of the DAO by contributing or voting on some proposals by having the mana token in there. You can buy a piece of land in there, and okay, anybody else is trying to enter through this right now? It should work.
During the introductions, I got on as a guest, as you're doing now.
Sorry?
I'm saying you were asking if someone's in Decentraland. Okay. So
yeah,
during introductions, perfect. I got on the same way you did just now, so it's working.
Amazing, that's great. Mine apparently doesn't, so I'll try once more. That's always when you are live streaming, the technology stops working somehow. Okay, but now it seems it will be fine. In Decentraland, okay, it prompts you with this annoying avatar telling you what to do. And you can press F to skip a tutorial and confirm it. So this is like the landing zone of the Decentraland. Here you can see some other people, and they all have a different variables. Some of those variables are generic, but some of them are special NFTs. If you press I, you can see your avatar, and when you click either head or top, you can see the Decentraland collection of your variables. So you can switch your variables. And if you are bored of these, you can always go to OpenSea or the Decentraland marketplace. We can go a bit later in there and try to buy some cooler stuff. And if you are a developer or a designer, you can design your own t-shirt. I guess this Lightning t-shirt was designed by him or by someone. So here are the information tables about what's happening in the Decentraland and events you would like to join. We will not click them and teleport in there. We will go into this portal just by jumping down here. And this is like the landing zone, the main Decentraland Plaza. And here you can see space around. It's quite nice, quite blocky, and when I'm running, you can see that the land is being updated and the new parcels are being loaded when you are running. Okay, now you can see that the huge palace just appeared. This is a bit limiting because you can't have two big models. Otherwise, it wouldn't load this fast, and it would take a lot of time for objects to load. You can see that even here there are some issues that I can run into dead end, and now I have to wait for the Decentraland to load. That's probably because of my internet connection. Maybe somebody else has it faster, but now it's uploading already. To move more efficiently in Decentraland, you can click on the map, which is on the left top, and go somewhere on the map here. So wherever you want to go, you just select a point and teleporting there. It's also good to check in which realm you are. Right now, I am in the DG realm, and the most players are here. But sometimes some event may happen in a different realm, and even if you are in the correct parcel, you are not seeing it because it's happening in a different realm. For now, I'll jump into this parcel because that's the ArchiDAO's parcel, and there should be, okay, yes, this provoke building. The interesting part about different realms is that if you upload a model in one realm, it's in all realms. So if I go to Athena, I should be able to see this building as well. If I press click, yeah, you can see that the provoke is still here, even though now I'm on a different server. So the people whom I was seeing in the DG are not in here. So I'll go back to the most used one server. Hello, if you meet somebody, you can click him and, for example, add him as a friend or have a chat with him and stuff like that. Or you can, by pressing B, do some emotes. So you can try press B and have press the numbers 1 to 10 and test some emotes. It's pretty cool. You can go, for example, this thing, or I think the coolest thing is yeah, the big head. It's number 8. Yeah, that's kind of fun. There is a question like, what's the activity you would like to do in Decentraland? If it's like a socializing part, or enjoying the architecture. For that part, we can go around, or you can see this building. It's a provoke building. First, check 3D printed building out of concrete. And
Hiri?
this, yes.
Maybe if you can share like the visuals, how the building looks in real life, like so we
Yep.
all get the same context, what provoke is.
So this is the real building. These are the architects, so I'm one of them. Here is the interior. The advantage of, here is the robot that we printed it with. The advantage of concrete 3D printing is that you don't have to follow any formwork, and you can go for crazy shapes, and actually the crazy shapes are easier to print. So this curtain wall has these patterns, not just for it to be cool, but also it helps with the structural forces of the wall. The idea was it has a green roof, so when it rains, the water is being absorbed by the roof, and then the plants on this side and on the other side as well are being watered from the roof. The printed objects are these C shapes, so I can now go again into the Decentraland and enter here. So first, the outer walls were printed, and then these inner partition walls were printed. And it's pretty interesting here to see that I set the colliders in this model. So you can't go through the building, but you can enter where the colliders are not placed, which is the entrance. And the funny part on this small partition wall is that I had a issue with number of polygons that I could upload to Decentraland due to the internet or due to scene limitations. So this collider in this partition wall is set only on one side. So it allows you to walk through this wall from one side, and this allows you to walking through it from the other side. It's kind of fun part, and you can, by doing this, you can in the Decentraland design like a secret entrances and secret escape roads, which is very interesting to think about, or to kind of come up with a maze, for example, with hidden roads in it. Yeah, so I guess you've seen the Decentraland. Do you have some questions you would like to ask about the building, or about the stuff you can do in Decentraland? Nope. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, some. Okay, Mayur, ask.
I just wanted like apart from like people ask like you can create spaces, so there are like various types of like economic around it. So either you can be a 3D modeler and find a client who owns a parcel in this metaverse, or you can also, if you are really into variables and thing, you can also create a variable as NFT. And theory, if you can show like our ArchiDAO variable, how we can
Okay, I would have to log in through my
okay, never
other
mind.
wallet, but Shri is here, right? Shri, can you put on your ArchiDAO t-shirt?
Yeah. Yeah, so like my point was, apart from assets creation, you can like mint your own variable in Decentraland, and in the marketplace. Like if people find it useful, they can use your variable, or you can create your community. All right, we saw in real time how Shri changed the variable. So it's like if we are like forming like a tribe or a community, like things like this matters, where like we show appreciation towards the community by like making these variables and feeling them appreciated. Apart from that, so a lot of people are now experimenting with renting their parcels. So if you find a retail company who wants to organize a metaverse event, you could rent your parcel to them. And on the main page, when you enter the Decentraland, you saw there was a big screen and it listed all the metaverse events happening there. So this is how you like uh, you have like economy as well as like social aspect around this metaverses, as well as constant events which keeps you engaged long term in this metaverses.
Yeah, so we were doing some events there already. We can show maybe how different land can be updated to this parcel, right? Shall we? Okay. I'll
So
stop.
you need a ledger.
Now I will stop share screening now my screen, because I'll have to log in through MetaMask. So it would be rather
Yeah.
annoying. Okay. Okay. So just for a second, we can now have a short discussion or questions.
I see there is one question. Yeah, you can feel free to unmute.
Yep.
So
No questions.
I see a hand raised, but I'm not sure which
Maybe they were raising hands
before.
because I was asking for how many people were into the Decentraland.
All right. So
yeah, I had a doubt. So as we have so many parcels in the entire place, So what's the process of getting one? Like, for example, let's say I have a couple of projects and I want to put it in the space and create my own environment. Then how do I go ahead with it?
Great question. So let me. So are you guys are you aware about OpenSea? So let me.
Uh,
Yeah. So OpenSea is a NFT marketplace. So let's say you want to buy virtual real estate in this metaverses. You can see like all the parcels being listed and in this metaverses. So you own this pixel or this pixel in this land, and once you buy it, it shows in your wallet when you log in as in Decentraland that you own this parcel. And then if you want to upload any 3D model, only you have the permission. There's also another option of adding people as contributors. So if your client owns this parcel, then the designer or creator can be added, their wallet addresses can be added as contributor, and then you can start uploading your 3D models. We will cover briefly on the limitations and the size and the format of 3D models soon. But like similarly, like if you want to buy a land in crypto voxel, so you search crypto voxel and then you can see how many owners, what's the base price for that. Does that answer your question?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And is there there a limit of land parcel, or say for example in Decentraland, the packet of land keeps increasing? Like in a couple of, I don't know, months or weeks, we keep increasing because obviously demands would be increasing, right? Like people would be wanting more space. Then how does that goes on? Or there's a limited packet of land available?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So a lot of like this metaverse is like you want to play it right, right? So for example, the more scarcity you have, like it increases like the value of the land price. But in case of Decentraland, I think the DAO makes the decision, like whether you want, like all the DAO members are the people who owns the land. So if everyone comes at a consensus that okay, we want to add one more island in our metaverse, then if everyone approves it and like it's passed the majority vote, then only you can add. I'm not sure about how crypto voxels, but I know like they added parcels also. So it's the way the metaverse platform like makes decisions.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so
You're ready?
yeah, I'm ready. So if you are here in this landing page of Decentraland, here you have like a marketplace, builder, events, and other stuff like a DAO. But oh yeah.
Yeah, Hiri, I just realized we didn't. Should we clarify like what the DAO entails? Like we have been mentioning about DAO. Yeah.
That's very true. So, Mayur, will you explain what DAO is, or shall I?
Yeah, I can take it. So like when we mention like DAO, like it stands for decentralized autonomous organization, and um, I might not do full justice to this definition, but like I'll try my best. So uh, you can imagine like there were like communities formed before, like during the Web 2 era, where like there were communities on internet or various websites and things like that. But what DAO provides is like a lot of like on-chain interactions and like historical notification of your community development. So for example, like if you are part of a ArchiDAO Discord community, then the ArchiDAO has, let's say, for example, tokens or NFT for people who have stake interest in this community, and then they have this voting mechanism where for various initiatives or features the DAO wants to develop, you people who pass that criteria can vote on it and also make new proposals. So it's like very bottom up led development with with the interaction. We could foresee who were the early supporters of this organization, but things become interesting when like okay, 2 years later, when the DAO decides, okay, this were the early supporters, we have their wallet addresses and other info, we want to pay back their initial efforts. So we can't do that when you buy stocks market. Even in web2 company, like you go to investors, you do all the series funding, and then you do IPO at the end, so people get the power at the end to invest and stake. Here people get the power first, where you buy the tokens of the DAO first, and yeah, that's how it grows bottom up. I don't know if I did it explained it very.
I think you did a great job. So everybody who is not in a DAO so far, just join some DAO. It's a great fun and yeah, a lot of work as well. So if I go back to the Builder tab, the Builder tab is kind of handy for designers who either own a parcel or a scene, or are so-called contributors to the parcel, because you can either own your own parcel, but sometimes it's too expensive for you to own it, and somebody else, let's say, wants you to design something on his parcel, so he can grant you access for entering that parcel and uploading the models onto that parcel. You can see here that we have several scenes modeled and prepared or tested. And the green dot here is saying that this model is being published at minus 124, minus 149, the parcel we were just visiting. And if I open it in the Decentraland builder, I can see the Provoke building on the parcel. When I click it, I can, here are some, wait, I'll move this tab somewhere here where it's not annoying. Yep. I can either move it in the parcel. So now if I would go for publish, it would change the layout of the building there. I can rotate it. You can see, okay, yeah, I'm struggling a bit. That's because this user interface is very not quite intuitive for architects. And you can see that it's moving like step by step. And if I'm holding a shift, you can have a smooth rotations, smooth scaling. So yeah, I can have a very, very short and kind of weird building in there. The advantage of this builder or designing stuff for Decentraland in this builder is that you can use many already finished and ready to use models that Decentraland has. So you can add some wooden tiles, some objects like plants, flowers. So this is like a Genesis City set of models. Yeah, this one is very small, but I can either click it or drag and drop it to the scene. But what happened right now is that you can see here those 4 rectangles turned red, and here it says too many triangles. So when I click it, I can see that I've already reached out or maxed out the triangle count for a scene. Each scene has several limitations, which are very important to follow. And you can't, for one scene, you can't go over 10,000 triangles. If I would try to publish it now, you can see here that it's gray already, so I can't even publish it and upload it to the Decentraland. That's because I have too many triangles, and it would take a lot of time to update all these parts for all those people who are entering the Decentraland. So if I delete some plants and stuff, maybe it will, oh yeah, now you can see that again, the triangle count is below 10,000, and I can press the publish button. There are other limitations for Decentraland. I'll show you the third link. which specifically says scene limitations. So you can see here are those 10,000 triangles. Then you are limited to entities, bodies, materials, textures, and height. Also, the file size and file count are limited. The issue or this limitation is only applied to one parcel. So if you have two parcels, you can merge them together and have a bigger space, and therefore you can upload a model which has 20,000 triangles there, 400 entities, and stuff like that. So if you are rich, you can buy many parcels next to each other. That's important to have them next to each other and merge them to one bigger, and then you can design a bigger stuff. Also, what you can do is to just, if you want to have a very detailed model being uploaded to Decentraland, you can merge like 10 parcels and build a very detailed object into the middle one, which like eats all the triangle counts. But then if the people goes in there, it takes a lot of time, of course, to download this whole building. There are also a texture size constraints. You can have a textures that have these pixel sizes. So it's a very, very small textures, 512 times 512. That's like the limit. So when you are preparing the textures, you have to always open it in Photoshop or somewhere and adjust it for 212, 512, 512. So these are the limitations you have to follow up to for your scene. When you have, I will not save this object, but what I can do now is to upload another object into the scene. So I can go here and do it. As you can see here, each scene, the basic scene, has a 16 to 16 meters. So if you merge 2 or 4, you will get 32 to 32 meters. That's the merge of four scenes. If I open this building or this part, I can check it out if it's working. It says here triangles are fine, so I can go for publish, and it asks me if I want to publish it to Scene Pool, which is also amazing tool to see all the scenes that others modeled and published. So if you don't know what would you like to have in your scene, you can always go to Scene Pool and browse through others models. But now I want to publish it to my land, and it asks me like, into which land would you like to publish it? And I click this parcel minus 124 minus 49, 149, and go continue and publish. The amazing feature of Decentraland is that you are not paying any gas fees for updating a parcel, which I was very glad that we don't have to pay for it, because we are updating it quite often. The thing you have to pay for is, of course, the land when you are buying it on OpenSea. And also when you are creating those variables, you have to pay a flat fee for the Decentraland DAO to check your design and then approve it. Here you can see that already the scene is being updated. I can see a different scene, but those people who were there with Provoke maybe are still seeing the old scene. Is it correct?
Shri is there. Shri,
Yes.
Yeah.
do they need to refresh or?
Yes. Shri
Yeah, I
needs,
refreshed.
those who want to see the new scene, they need to refresh the browser. So just select this and go enter, and it refreshes the scene. I didn't have to do it, but I wanted to show you the refreshing process. This is quite cool to, if you are having some kind of event there and you are running out of triangles, you can design several buildings, and for each part of your event you can show a different model and then ask the people there to refresh their browser and have a different model there or scene or whatever. So yes, this is about updating the scene and publishing the new models or old objects. Okay.
Hiri,
yeah.
so I can like change the lighting conditions in like from the code. I'm not sure. Can you also change the scene like daylight, nighttime? Yeah.
That's a great question. You can change it. It's somewhere.
Skybox.
Yeah, Skybox. Where it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
Skybox. So you turn off dynamic skybox because it reads my time, and according to that time it adjusts sun. So maybe if I now set this skybox time, okay, yes, you can see that right now I'm having sun here and nice time. A bit annoying part on this object is that you can run through it. That's because the colliders for this object were not set up, and that's something I'll show you in Blender how this is being done. So you can actually walk on this object and not go through it. Then you can see here a picture of a cow. That's just a testing of Imgur images, because the scene has several limitations, as I was already talking about it. And one of them is materials and textures limitations. Here there is like some kind of logarithmic voodoo, but the limitation in one scene, each scene or each parcel rather, 16 to 16 meters, has a limit of 10 textures and 20 materials. The variable items have even less. They have only 2 materials. And so when you are designing something for Decentraland, it's important to think about how many materials and how many textures you're going to use there. You shouldn't go crazy, and you should limit yourself for as little textures and materials as possible. So to do so, the Decentraland has a great link, which we also have here. It's DCL textures, and when you open it, you'll get these 3 PNG pictures on GitHub, and here are all the colors. And how in Decentraland they do it, they have like one material for everything, and unwrap all the object, and those faces they scale down and put them onto the small squares of these color palettes. I'll show you the process as well. It's kind of funny and a bit unintuitive for architects, because we are very used to having as big texture as possible, seamless and proper UV mapping and stuff like that, but that's not working, unfortunately, in Decentraland. The picture there, the Imgur picture of a cow, this is a way how to overcome these scene limitations, because you can see that the picture has a way bigger resolution than 512 to 512 pixel points. And the way how it's possible is that it's like a smart object that's that has URL linking to the Imgur, so it's not baked into the scene of Decentraland, but it's external source for this image. I can show you again later how to adapt such a picture into the scene. So if you are designing, let's say, a gallery or NFT museum, you shouldn't be using textures and materials for the paintings and pictures, but you should be just linking them from Imgur or other website that's possible. So far, we've discovered that only Imgur is working, and sites like Instagram or any other, unfortunately, are not working. So that's about the texturing and the scene limitations. Mayur, do you think I forgot something to mention, or I'll?
No, I think like this was great. So in the builder, we covered like how you can like place models, add objects. Like I think we will be like showing how to upload a GLB file into the builder, right? So I think,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
awesome.
Okay, so anyone from the audience have some questions?
Can I ask one question?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I think you covered this and I just kind of didn't get it. So let's say I own a piece of land in Decentraland and I've never built on it. Going back to the first step where I could go and I could find my land and I could get to the builder. So do I just log on to Decentraland? Like I just log on and then connect my wallet and then it will show me that I have one piece of land that I can build on, and then on the top I just go to builder?
Yes. Here I was just showing that's something I didn't mention properly, so thank you very much for the question. I was all the time in the scene step. So if I go to the land step, I can see here the parcel 124, 149 coordinates and owner. You can see here is my wallet, and this is just an ArchiDAO wallet I'm using for a scene operations. So the owner is me, and operator is all the ArchiDAO members. And you can see all the lands you are either owning or operating in this step if you own some or operating some. Here is also a filter tab to filter it, and yep. Then there are some names and collections. The collections are for the variables. So this is the place where you are creating variables. So if you want to create a variable, you just create a new item and export zip or GLTF. Zip never works, always use GLTF, or for me, zip never worked. Maybe for somebody else it worked and it's perfect, but I'm always using GLTF or GLB file to upload here. And then it asks you about the name of the collection. Wait, I can maybe update or upload some just a weird file to see how the variable editor looks like. So imagine this is some kind of t-shirt, and I want to create a t-shirt. So I go here and drag and drop this t-shirt in here. I said that this is for male or female. This is very important because the interesting part is that you can create a t-shirt NFT variable, which is like one-off. And if a male character wears it, then it's a t-shirt for a male. And if the same NFT equips a female, then this t-shirt is changed. It has like a different shapes. It has boobs. So one t-shirt, you have to model in two variants for male and female option. If you are going for something crazy, you can say both, and then it will look similarly on male and female as well. But yeah, when I placed this part, it says also, it checks the triangle count, the material count, and the texture count. And now it asks me for the rarity. So I can say like legendary, and it's upper body, that's the t-shirt, and it has a male representation. And now I can create it. And when I open this t-shirt in editor, it will definitely not work. Yeah, you can see here that it's not working, of course, because it doesn't have the rigid structure of the body and doesn't have a proper weight painting on top of this object. But this is the way how you can create variables as well. I'll go back to the land stop.
So like whenever you buy a land, it will automatically show based on the wallet you log in, like in purple. And let's say you have 4 land and you build on the online builder. When you click on publish, it will have like all the purple pixels on which of these 4 lands you want to publish. So it knows like how many lands you own.
Yeah. Here, as I was talking before, is the scene pool. If we are curious, we can click on it and see the scene pool. You can see that some people are going crazy and connecting 16 parcels together. This one is interesting. It's only one parcel and there is like a lot of things inside. You can see that it has 27 likes, a lot of objects in there. So you can click on it and then look at this building. And if you are interested, you can use this building as well. So if you want to create a new scene, since we have 9 scenes here, we always can go for a plus button and name the new scene. So we can call this TCL workshop scene. Description is not needed, and it asks for rows and columns, so I can go for 3 times 2. And when I hit create, we can see that we have the way bigger parcel. And also in this limitation, you can see that now I'm limited to 60,000 triangles. So I can upload something very huge only to this land, this 16 to 16 meter land, which has 60,000 triangles. That's the way how to overcome these scene limitations. Okay.
I think like we are like past 1 hour mark. Do you want to like do provoke first and then take a break, or you want to take break now?
That's up to you guys. Small pee break, and then we will go to provoke, and I'll show you how the parts are modeled.
Yep, we can do. So one thing, like for all the participants, if you have any 3D model which you want to use in Decentraland, like keep it ready during like one of our coming breakout session. We can discuss it, and anyone can use this builder, and anyone can upload and create a asset and experience here. If you own the land, you will be able to publish it. If you don't own the land, you will be still able to create a URL which you can share with us to like review, and maybe to your client to for them to experience it. So
yeah, we will do like we may do a small competition. So the one with the best model, we can upload it to our parcel and leave it there for some amount of time. So you can actually drag your friends to that location and showcase your model. If you are interested, we can go for this today. I think we are good on time, so we still have enough time to do this.
Yeah. And so like a lot of this metaverse is like some have like online builders, some don't. And the way I see this on Decentraland online builder, if depending on like your skill set in like 3D modeling, if you are like very low, like very basic level, you can use online builder for not only assets creation but all the whole space assembly, like more kind of a composition where you can pick and choose from all the assets and 3D model available from the library and create your experience. If you are on the higher end of like really want like detailed graphics, curvature, 3D modeling and stuff, you use your own like tool set or software you're familiar with, let's say whatever products you have, and then you import your 3D model into this builder or in the SDK, which I'll show, and then keep on adding and tweaking elements. So like either you can use it fully or you can use for final touch.
Okay, any questions, guys? I think there are some questions.
Yeah. Hi, Hiri and Mayur. So basically, for example, if I saw you have 9 scenes, right? So if I create some more scenes of mine, I don't own a land. Now I want to visualize it in a particular space. I don't know, like since we have so many infrastructures, maybe next to a particular location, and like in a Decentraland. So how can I visualize next to that structure, or maybe in a space I want to in the entire world of Decentraland?
Something I forgot to mention. I'm here. I can join as a different wallet. So let's go for ArchiDAO workshop. That's the wallet which has like 0 scenes. So I'll connect through MetaMask and sign new wallet. So now I am connected to Decentraland with a new wallet. There is nothing. This wallet has no land here. So that's something like your case. And you can always go for plus and new scene, create a scene 2 by 2, for example. And then in this builder, build some stuff. Okay, so go for some voxels, then go for gallery. So I want to have some NFT display in here. Then I can go for cyberpunk stuff. And when you are finished with your scene, you can always to showcase your people or friends and customers, maybe to showcase it like this. So you are kind of walking in a Decentraland. There is nothing around you, so it's like a test net, and you can see how it looks like. This is the first part, and then if others want to see your scene, you can click share, and you have this link. So when you copy this link and send it to someone, I can share it here in the chat with you. You should be possible. It should be possible for you now to, when you click this link, to enter this scene. So that's how you can share it. Or there is a way cooler approach as well, which maybe Mayur will be talking later when he will be talking about the SDK and coding. And that's you can run the Decentraland in a beta or in a test net, so you can test it with the surroundings as well. Is it correct, Mayur?
Yeah, like you can share like the link, but the thing is like to your question, you can't place it beside any parcel. It's your own local, and even if you're sharing, you can't see the multiplayer or avatar functionality in this parcel, because like only the owner has the right to publish in the main metaverse. You are creating your own standalone links which like you can share, but you don't have all the features in this scene.
Okay.
So if
So you
I
won't be able to temporarily test out, say, in a particular place. That would require the owner's permission, and or maybe you have to publish only, then you can test it out with respect to your surroundings.
Correct. And the thing is like so your owner owns let's say 2x2 land. You should be creating 2x2 in your builder, because then only like the builder does all the texture and polygon check. So if you create like let's say you have a crazy rhino model and you want there, but for your client you need to have all these checks beforehand, which are the parcel size and all the compatibility checks. And then if the owner adds you as, if the owner of your like if your client adds you as operator, then you can publish like in the main parcel.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
So if we share this link without publishing, and if two people are going to the space, so can they see each other?
No, like there's no multiplayer, nothing. It's just like we
Okay, it's
viewing.
similar to how we do in crypto voxel, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just go to the toilet and come back in 2 minutes, and then we will follow up with the questions. So very short break.
Yeah, let's reconvene in like 10 minutes. And
okay,
yeah, and if you it would be great if like so we will be going through like two case studies. And by the meantime, if you can have your 3D asset up, and if you want to test on Decentraland builder in the breakout, we can help you guide how you can use your assets and like provide comments. Cool. We'll see you in 10 minutes. Bye bye.
yeah, see you. Bye bye.
Scott, Mr. Moore. Where'd he go? Oh, Odd Job is here. Unmuted, but we can't hear you, buddy.
I assume he's off listening to the new 10,000 Triangles track. Sick.
Oh, that's a throwback.
Me now? Hello? Hello, hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
There
Okay.
he is.
Hi, Tippy.
Hey, I'm so excited to hear about your firewalk later. It's not a metaverse, it's a real world firewalk, right?
Yeah, it's actually 2 hours away. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave in about an hour instead of in 2 hours. I was hoping I could make it longer. Anyway, it's gonna take me longer to get down there, but I got to drive for 2 hours, and then we have a meditation, we have a workshop, we have preparation, and then we do the walk. It's usually under starlight. So yeah, I'll tell you all about it. What do you have set for the long weekend, or is it a long weekend for you?
Is it a long weekend? Do we have a holiday coming up? Or
Monday's a holiday. Well, at least it is in Minnesota. It's Juneteenth.
Juneteenth?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
So that's some people call it the day of true independence for the United States. That's when I can't remember the name of the general, but he rode into to someplace in Texas and announced to them that they were the group of African Americans were truly free. And it was like a year and a half after the Civil War ended. So up to that point, they had still been enslaved. So it was June 19th. Again, I forget the year, but it's been celebrated by the African American community since then, every year as their day of true independence. So some people will celebrate July 4th, but on July 4th, people were still enslaved. So many people in the African American community celebrate June 19th and they call it Juneteenth, as the day of true independence for all Americans.
I like that.
Thank you, David, for posting that in chat.
No problem.
So yeah, I have an 11-month contract with my school. Instead of getting 3 or 2.5 months off during the summer, I get July off. So I'm still on the clock, but Monday I don't have to go in because it's a holiday.
Well, I'll be celebrating somehow. I'll figure out a way.
Are you ready?
Are you guys here? I've heard some talk, so yeah, some of you are here probably.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Yeah, Scott is a Decentraland party master. He took me on a fun party once he organized.
Amazing. Where are you from? I'm from Europe. I am afraid you are from America.
Yeah, I live in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Oh,
This
okay.
is Scott, also known as Odd Job. I run a a weekly tour event of Decentraland every Monday at 8 p.m.
Amazing.
Eastern.
Wow.
We tour different locations. So if you ever want us to come to this build or any other builds, by all means, let me know and I'll bring my my adventure squad.
Wow. Well, I am amazed that you joined this workshop. Did you like it so far, or we are just saying some basic information for you?
Absolutely. I like any type of engagement that encourages people to create in the metaverse, and the builder is a wonderful tool to get people up and running. There are a tremendous number of assets. I have a friend of mine who, with a developer, has created something called Dice Masters, and they've almost used exclusively the free assets that are available to create a castle, an environment, and a play to earn game. So
Wow.
there's obviously some code that's behind that, but in terms of modeling new things, they just used everything that's in the list of assets, and they've only had to create a few new items. So it's really a good proof of concept to show people that what you really need, especially in a place like Decentraland or Crypto Voxels or Sandbox or NFT Worlds, is you just need the time and you need the idea. And I came here through Tippy. He's the one that told me about this. So
Cool.
hats off to Tippy for including me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Amazing. Like, yeah, like I'm gonna like at the end like gonna show like how to use the SDK, and like the starting scene which he showed like of jumping from the top in that like main Decentraland center. Even that asset is out there, so you can build and create on top of it. So yeah, the possibilities are endless.
I just
Okay.
wanted to mention, sorry,
No,
real
it's
quick.
fine.
Anybody here, if you send me your Ethereum wallet address, I'll give you guys each a free wearable. I have a wearable that I just give away to people, so you won't look so vanilla normie as they say when you're walking around Decentraland. But yeah, I'd happily give everybody here who drops their address. And if you don't mind, I can post a link to my to the event that I host every Monday, and we'd love to have you guys come and see the different sites of Decentraland.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you very much, and thanks. I would really like to join next time.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, feel free to share link in the chat. Like this.
No, my pleasure. So it's ABC Decentraland. My name in Decentraland is Odd Job, so I'm the A, and then B is Billy T Coin, and C is CK Bubbles. So we're just three people that, none of us have land. We're just like, we started out just like anybody else who comes to Decentraland. We're like, hey, this is interesting. We got together. We're like, let's do a Twitch stream. So we stream for 2 hours every Monday, and we just like, hey, this is a neat place. Let's go this way.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely join. And I'm Odd Job everywhere. So if you go to @oddjob on Twitter, you'll find me.
Yeah, and like for like participants who don't have like so like what our job is referring is to share your wallet address. So if you are not aware, like you need to install MetaMask extension and then create a wallet address and then share it here, so you get a free variable.
It's absolutely not required to do Decentraland. Every time I try to onboard somebody in Decentraland, I'm like, all you need is a browser, and you need like at least a 2 gigabyte GPU graphics card. I mean, you're going to have limited graphic display, but whatever, that'll at least get you started. But yeah, if you do have a permanent Ethernet address, drop it in here and I'll send you each a wearable.
Awesome. Cool. I know. Okay, Hiri, let's pick up the pace. We have, I don't know, depending on the time zone, people might be hungry for lunch, dinner. So I gotta Keep up to the point.
Okay, so so far we've shown you the builder and how it works in Decentraland. And now I would like to talk a bit more about the Prvok and the model, how you have to adjust the model. And then we will showcase generated model in Grasshopper, then moving it to Blender, creating some textures, and then updating it to the Decentraland parcel. So that's the workflow, what we're gonna do in the following 30 to 40 minutes. Hopefully we're gonna make it in this time, and then we will go back to Mayur and his SDK coding stuff. So I'm sharing my screen again. Can you see my screen right now?
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect. So I'll move this part a bit here, and this annoying pop-up window somewhere here. Do you know how can I hide this? Hide video panel. Wow, perfect. Okay. So, okay. Well,
Here
never
you
mind.
might need
Sorry.
to give like 2 minutes overview about like Blender, who people who might not have heard about Blender.
So for those who never heard about Blender, if you are interested, you can follow up this link which you have provided in the folder. When you click on it, you can see that it's a freeware, so you can, it's open source, and you can download a Blender. It's a 3D modeling tool. It's amazing for fast modeling, creating animations, and also you can mimic some physics in there. So the water flowing and stuff destroying. It's a great tool, and it started as a very clunky developer fun tool. In the beginning, it didn't even have a backwards
Inverse
components.
kinematics.
Yeah. So it's improves very much over the time, and it's, wait, I'll just turn on my screencast keys. So now you should be okay. Yeah, on the left part here, you should be able to see what I'm pressing, the buttons and the mouse, which might be helpful for you to also orient in the space. Compared to other 3D softwares, this Blender is way more about shortcuts. So if you learn shortcuts, you can move way faster and model way faster. So each, I think each software has a shortcuts, of course, but Blender is very well known for the shortcuts. And if you don't know the shortcuts, then you are working very slow in the Blender. So to create a proper model and proper scale, it's important to work in meters. So in here, you have like a tab, or okay, in here you have a tab which says somewhere here, properties. And in the properties below, you can set many folders here. Just a fast question before I start more details. How many people worked with Blender before? Can you just raise a hand again? Okay, we have. Okay, not. Oh, okay, so some of you, yes. Don't worry about the Blender. We will just use it for exporting it as a like a Gldf exporter, because this 3D model was done in Rhino, and then I imported it as an STL. And then in Blender, what I did was to check its properties and if it's feasible for Decentraland. So the first thing the model for Decentraland should have is proper units. So you should be working in meters. You can see here that the units system should be set to metric and length meters. So if I measure the length of the provoke, so approximately it's approximately 13 meters long. You can see it on the left below dx. It says 13.29 meters. So don't work in millimeters because the Decentraland builder is confused later on. Also, the important part is to have your model located in the 0 location, because if the whole object would be somewhere completely different, then the builder places it like here is the center of your scene, and the object is hidden somewhere very far away, so you can't even see it. So always place it in the 0, 0 location, and always check if the building is standing in a 0 Z, or it might even be a little bit lower, as I have in this case. If it's a bit higher, something like that, then if you upload it to the scene pool or into the builder in the Decentraland, your building is flying this much above the ground, and it's annoying to properly set it up in the builder. So always check in your software the units and the location of your building. Another part is the texturing. I guess if you are working in different softwares and you know how to set this in a different software, then you can set it properly in your software and just use a Blender for Gldf export. Or if your software allows Gldf export, then it's a simple task from your software. The texturing on this object is also a bit annoying or a bit difficult. You have to pay a special care for this concrete. So if I go into these parts, you can see here that I have a, wait a second. If I go here, yep, I have a texture here or a material called concrete, and the surface always has to be principled BSDF. Otherwise, Gldf export doesn't work or will not export your texture. So as you can see here, you have a large amount of different shaders and modifiers, what the texture might be. For example, you have emission, which is a light or diffuse and stuff like that. But the best way to go, and the safe way to go, is to have a principled BSDF, and then use a picture which has 512 times 512 pixels. And in the UV mapping, there is nothing super interesting, but I'll again, this one is annoying. I'll open it here, and yeah, it's just a simple UV unwrap and mapping, but interesting part happens in these other tools. Yep. Because here you don't have, you can't have that many materials, and you should be saving the material amount. So this window and this green roof, and maybe no, this one doesn't have any material, but these two parts, they have a same material. And if I go here and show you, I've used this PNG file from GitHub, unwrapped all those parts and just scaled down very thoroughly all these faces into this green dot, which I want the color to have. The same applies for all these windows, frames of the windows, which are being located in this gray rectangle. I think I've had more textures there. Maybe this one is also, yeah, this one is in the rocks. So this is the way how you properly create the textures and materials for Decentraland, because this is the way how you save all those slots for materials and textures for something more important you would like to have in your building. So when you have all these parts ready and prepared, there is one more thing you need to know about, and that's the collider. Yes, sorry. You wanted to ask something? No? Okay. There is a collider, which is like a hidden mesh. I'll move it like 15 meters away just to show you. And this is the object which is not shown in the Decentraland, but makes the character not cross these walls. To model it and let the Decentraland understand it properly, you just create a simple mesh. You want to create it as simple as possible because it adds you the polygon count as well. So if I would just copy this object, I would double the amount of polygons. I'll just show you how many polygons this model has. Here in the left top part, you can see that I am on the 9,682 triangles, so almost at the limit. And I couldn't have had this part just copied and pasted in there. So I've remodeled it and made it very simple. And you have to call it something / collider. And in that case, the Decentraland builder and all that engine understands that this part should not be shown, but you are not able to go through it. It's a simple collider. You can see here, that's what I was mentioning when we were visiting the Decentraland scene, that in the small partition wall, you can go from one side inside and not the other way. And that's because this small wall has just one face and it doesn't have the second face. It's not a box like all these other walls. So that's how you can model one-way entry or a hidden entry to some parts of your building. And you can have like a Harry Potter entrance to somewhere. Okay, some questions about this so far? No? Okay, so if my object is finished, or I think it's finished, I just select it all and go for export and Gldf 2.0. Usually, when you open a new Blender or when you install a Blender, you don't have this export option here. That's because in Edit and Preferences, you have to activate an add-on. So here there are like many tabs, and in add-on tab, you just write Gldf, and you will most likely have it inactive like this. So you just enable it, and then you are capable of exporting Gldf files from Blender. So you just go export Gldf. Oh, wow. Oh yeah, it's down here now. And now you have some options here include transform geometry and animation. As you can see, when I was doing the provoke model, I've exported 8 provokes before I managed to make it working. That's because first I had a wrong unit, then the provoke was completely off the 0,0 location, then it was floating a bit, then I didn't have the principled BSDF materials properly set, and then I didn't have proper colliders. So all these things I've been telling you right now in 10 minutes, I've been trying to solve like for a very long time, and it was a bit annoying. So I hope at least some of you will remember this, and maybe it will fasten you the road into designing some cool stuff for Metaverse. So in this export tool, it's good to check what it offers here. You can limit the export size only to selected objects, which is handy when you have a huge scene with many parts and you want only a smaller part of the object to being exported to Gldf file. Then it's nice to, or it's important to check that materials are set to export. So you are exporting the materials as well. And because we are not having any animation, we don't have to have any animation skinning or whatsoever. Now we can call this test and export it to DCL workshop. And now there will be like a test of truth if our GLBT file works. If I open it in 3D viewer, you can see that it looks fine. So all the textures and materials are exported there. Also, the collider is inside, but don't worry, that's fine because the Decentraland doesn't read it or doesn't show it. So it only works for stopping you to go through these parts. I can now create a new scene, Okay, go for 1 × 1 row, and here create a new asset pack and drop the Gldf file in here and import asset. Yeah, just leave it like that. Check that I haven't reached the triangle amount and all these things, and then I'll create asset pack. And from this asset pack, then I'll be capable of dropping this provoke into the builder. So this is the way how you improve the model in Blender and export it as GLTF and place it into the builder. Then if you would like to improve it, you can use all these predefined models and objects that are already here. But what if your object is too big or has too many triangles, more triangles than this 10,000 amount? Then the first thing what you can do is to delete the bottom faces, because these bottom faces, they will never be visible in the object, since you are placing the building on the floor, right? And they are just there because they used to be there, but they are wasting the polygon count and not helping you with anything. So in Blender, you can go to wireframe and select, okay, again, I'll have to move this part, and select these vertices. Select everything by clicking and pressing B. You just select the bottom parts, and now you can delete all these faces. And when I go back, you can see that I had 3,430. And if I go forward, or if I just delete the faces again, now it reduces the triangle count a lot, or by some amount. So that's something that doesn't hurt you at all. The player doesn't have any lower experience out of the model, and it can help you reducing the polygon count a lot. And if you are still having issues with the high polygon count, you should decimate and simplify the geometry. To do so in Blender, you can use a modifier, which here you can this Allen key or a wrench. And when you click here, you should have a decimate. And in the collapse, you can say that I want only 0.7, which means leave me 70% of all those faces. So when I click somewhere, you can see that the face count will be reduced to 2,283. So this is another way how to reduce the polygon count. The more I'm reducing it, the more simplified the object is, and it's a bit out of the reality now. You can see that it doesn't look that nice. So it should always be like a good balance between the polygon count and the way how precise you want to have the object. And the best way to reduce the polygons is in the beginning, of course, deleting the parts that are not visible, that will not be visible. Okay, so I think that's all from the lessons learned from this provoke and uploading it to the Decentraland. And now, if you will, I will show you how a Rhino and Grasshopper works. We will generate some flat, just algorithmically made flat, place it into the Blender, create some textures and materials, and then upload it to the scene builder in the Decentraland. Yes, are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mayur. So now I'll just close this, don't save. One more fast voting, please, guys. How many people used Rhino so far, or Grasshopper more specifically? Okay, so rather first Rhino. Oh, I don't know how to.
4 or 5 people.
5. Okay. So for those who didn't use Rhino before, it's I'll just launch it. It used to be a plugin for AutoCAD, and it was designed for ship modelers because this Rhino uses mathematic equations to describe all the curves. So I am not drawing a curve that is made out of small polylines, but this curve has a control points, and according to location of those control points, the curve is calculated. So you always have a great precision, and there are no like polygons or rough angles, which is great for those shipbuilders or airplanes and stuff like that. And over the time, even architects started to use it because there is an amazing tool called Grasshopper, which is a plugin into the Rhino. And this Grasshopper allows architects visual programming of some sort. So when you are designing a building in Grasshopper, you are more designing a workflow of the whole process of designing. And then if you don't like your first step, you can always come back. Here is just some example file of the Grasshopper used for 3D printing. So if I go here and draw some ways, let's say 0, and extrude this thing up. Okay, so if I have this cylinder, I can show you how it looks here. I can go into the Grasshopper, and I've built this tiny script. And when I set one geometry, which means that I'm gonna feed the data of the cylinder into the Grasshopper. The Grasshopper, you can see that something happened in here, and it created these patterns. I can always change the structure and stuff like that. It's because the data that are fed from Rhino are being altered in Grasshopper, and because it's all based on the programming and mathematically, I can always adjust it and change it if I stop liking it, or if I think it's too boring, I can alter it like this. And at the end of this script, you are getting the whole G code for printing. So this is great script, for example, for clay printing, which you can upload just to your regular FDM printer. So this is one use of Grasshopper, but we will use the Grasshopper for something a bit different, for algorithmic designing of some spaces. For a Grasshopper, because there is the advantage that you have many other plugins that are being put into the Grasshopper. If you are interested for or to download a Rhino or test the Grasshopper, you can just go here into these links and follow up this Rhino link. You will get a 90 days free license of whole features of Rhino, and the Grasshopper is embedded in the Rhino. And then to play with the stuff that we're gonna do right now, you need to have one more plugin, which is called magnetizing, and it's in here. This plugin is a bit buggy, but I kind of like it because it allows you to auto-generate layouts and these dispositions. So yeah, this is like a visual part, what you're gonna design or describe which rooms and how big they should be, and it generates you this layout with many other with many possibilities of how it can be created. So you just need to download it here first to log in into Food for Rhino, but those who are using Rhino already know it. And then you can download the magnetizing plugin and also example preview. I will first open the example preview to show you what we're gonna do. Okay. Now I have opened a Rhino, and here this green circle is a Grasshopper, so I'll launch it right now. I can always write it in the command tab, which is in the top part of the Rhino. Okay, now it becomes a bit complicated. Okay, and I'll just drag and drop this script into the Grasshopper. And this script is a generative script that tries to fit some spaces into designated area. You can see that here you have a layout of what you want to include in there. So you have a foyer with 100 square meters, entrance, wardrobe, exhibition hall, foyer number 2, number 3, stairs, elevators. And here are all those rooms. The red ones are too big to fit in here. So in here, this system, this spring system, is trying to somehow accommodate as many as possible rooms into this area. and think about the connections, like where will be the door and how the people will be going through. So this is pretty cool. You have this file. Oh yeah, it can be downloaded on that example file. I will not use this example file. I have already prepared a file that's named example. This example file I'm showing you right now, you can go into this drive I send you a link for, and in source file you have example .3dm and example.gh. 3dm is the Rhino part, and gh is the Grasshopper part. So now I've already prepared this rectangle of the size of 16 to 16 meters. So that's our parcel in Decentraland. And now I'll launch a Grasshopper and place this small example file I have in here. Okay, and you can see that I've modified this example. This part just designed this connection, and I've added some nodes to extrude and create spaces and volumes out of it. So wait, I'll just this thing that would be nicer to have it, or simpler to have it like this. Okay. So now I have extruded volumes as well, and I can play with it. So let's say in my, yeah, sorry, something, nothing? Okay.
No.
Okay. Here you can see that 3 of those rooms, they are not fitting in there. And that's because I have this 16 to 16 meters, but this dashed line is a boundary offset. I have to set this boundary offset to at least 0.1 or something small. And then to refresh the whole algorithm, I press F5 and it recalculates, oh shoot, okay, it recalculated the geometry. If I keep pressing F5, you can see that I have like many different layouts. So I can play with it, or if I say, okay, I want to set the boundary offset to 0.05, I can come up, okay. Now, when I think, I can always change also the connections to different spaces. So I can say the Shimon's room should be connected to entrance as well. And I think entrance doesn't have to be connected to toilet. And I think Shimon's room is too big, so I'll just give him 10 square meters. And I think this should be like Mayur's place. And Mayur also doesn't need a 50 square meters. Mayur needs 30. Mayur, is it fine for you?
I'll manage.
Okay. So now if I press F5, and once again, I can still see that it's not fitting that many objects in there. I can check. These are the curves that are here, 16 to 16 meters, and here is the point where the entrance should be. I can take this point and move it a bit somewhere different and see. Also, it also recalculates like this. So see whatever disposition I like. This is pretty cool because with this plugin, you can create many layouts very easily. So if we are talking about some kind of algorithmic collection of 10,000 flats for Decentraland and designing some skyscraper which has all these flats above each other, then this might be a way to go, and we can play with it a bit longer because this is just a very simple showcase what it can do. So I think, let's say this this disposition is fine, and I like this geometry. So I'll go to Rhino and check how it looks like. Okay, this is fine. I'll go and bake it. When you are baking geometry in Grasshopper, you are actually creating a geometry in Rhino, because all these nodes in Grasshopper, it's like a workflow, and it's not real in Grasshopper and in Rhino until you say so, or until you bake it. So now I've baked a geometry into the Rhino, and I can see that it has these walls. I think that's fine. So let's take these walls, select all of them, and go for export selected, and export them as an STL file. Go for test number 2. Oh no, example file. Those who don't have Rhino or Grasshopper, or didn't follow this step, in the Google Drive I've provided is a example file.stl, which is a very similar file I'm having right now. So you can download it and open it and check it out. Because now we will go back to the Blender and open it with Blender. So I'll go for Blender. Sample file number 2, okay. This is how the Blender looks like when you open it. So you just delete all the parts that are in here. I'll just again turn on the screencast key. Okay. I'll go import STL and find STL in the Decentraland workshop example file number 2. Okay, so this is my volume which I generated, but this is a 3D object. If I press tab, you can see the faces and verticals, and there are a lot of faces and verticals and triangles. You don't have to be here, honestly. They are just adding up the amount of triangles a lot. So this is a bit complicated geometry, and there is a quick fix in Blender how to make like a one whole face out of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces. And to do so, you just go for delete and go for limited dissolve, which in here dissolves all faces that are having less than 5 degrees difference between them. So it united all the parts together, and I already like it. There are still, if you check this, there are still some parts which doesn't make sense, and these are very weird. So maybe we will just delete these verticals and this vertical as well, and quickly by selecting this and this and pressing F, rebuild these parts. And now you can see that the part is missing as well. So you select again these two and press F, and then you can select the whole part and press F as well. So then this part is repaired. The bottom faces you don't need, so you don't have to make them, create them. And the left or the rest is kind of okay. Here you can still see that are these issues as well. So I'll just delete these verticals again and repair it fast. Okay. Okay. So now this is fine from the modeling and shape side of the part, but I would like to have some textures or materials in there, right? So first thing, I'll create a new material and I'll name it walls. I can have a different materials there, so I can create something that's called painting. And if I'm crazy enough, I can select some parts which I would like to have painted. I can always go with this. Okay, so I'll select these parts, not this one. Okay, so I can assign to these parts the painting material and set the base color as image texture and open image texture. And in desktop, I've prepared a texture ready. Okay. So now if I unwrap it, okay, we should be able. Okay, yeah, you can see now that this part has a texture. Okay, and these two parts we will assign some colors. So I'll go back to the walls and assign them. Wait, I'll just separate these two parts to handle them more easily. I'll create a new texture, so I'll download this palette. For example, this one looks reasonable. I'll check if it has a 512 pixels. Yes, that's fine. So I can use this one. And here I'll just use image texture and set this image texture for this one. Okay. Now when I go unwrap, you can see that crazy stuff happened, and it's wrapped pretty poorly in there. The Blender has a UV editor, so you can set one view here for just the UV edit. And you can see that these walls, they were mapped pretty poorly. So if I press U once again, I'll go for cube projection, which unwraps the parts kind of better. So now I want this wall to be blue, so I'll just scale it and move it to the blue. This should be yellow or orange or whatever. Okay, I think you pretty much understand the workflow, right? Guys, yeah? Are you still with me?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh man, it's pretty great.
Okay, so this is a simple way how to have many colors in one place. So yep, have it like this. I can also change this texture also by UV editing it. So I'll go for U and cube projection, and I can scale it to have more painting in there. Okay, so let's say that's a finished flat, and I really like it looks right now. The textures and materials are probably set well. Now I have to check if the Z height is properly set. This is fine. It's in the middle as well, and which units I'm using. So now I should check the units. So I'll go here and check the metric units. Okay, that's fine. How big it is. So I'll just grab this point and move it here to see if I'm moving by 16 meters or less. Yes, on the left top, you can see that I moved by, wait a second, I'm using a bed of snaps. That's terrible me. Okay, again here. Now, okay, so it's 12 meters. That's fine. So units, scale, and location is fine as well. And we are probably ready for exporting this flat to Decentraland. If you want to go crazy, you can go find some other cool models that are being modeled in Blender as well, because as a Blender is an open source, it has a great libraries. You can go to Blend Swap, I think is the part. Yeah. If you create account here, you can download a lot of models, and the best way, yeah, you can see 5 million downloads already, 24,000 blends. So if you look for blends, you can download some cool stuff here and just slightly adjust it in Blender for GLBT export, and export it to the Decentraland, which is amazing. You can have like, wow, okay, so
Wow.
wow. If you want to go crazy, we can also add a monkey here, because Blender's most favorite object is a monkey. So this will be a flat for monkey for some Bored Apes. Let's check once again what's the vertex size right now of our model. I'll go here. Wait a second, this part is annoying. Okay. I'll go here. Oh, okay. I should, okay, yeah. So now I have 1000 triangles, so I can go crazy and use some modifiers for my monkey and give her more smoother look. So I'll just go for subdivision surface. Now you can see that it's way smoother and we have way more triangles. If I go one more, we already are exceeding the triangle number of 15,000. So I'll go less, just to 1. And yes, that's about it. I want to have a flat like this. And one more thing, the colliders. We didn't set the colliders yet. So let's say I want this to be collider as well. And since it's a very simple geometry, it has only 92 triangles, it can be collider by itself. So I'll just Control C and Control, okay, I've just made a mistake. Shift D, the object here. So I have a copy. Okay. Oh, shoot. Okay, now I have a, yeah, this is the copy, and I'll rename it to the name /collider. And in this way, it should work. Now I'm very poor in my English, and I don't know if collider has 2 L's or 1 L, but we will see if it works or not. So I'll take this whole object and go for export Gldf. Gldf includes selected objects, yes, transform geometry, apply modifiers because the monkey has subdivision surface. And that's about it. So I'll just export it to DCL workshop. I'll call it example 2.
Hiri, you did not assign any material to the monkey, so can we see it in the Decentraland?
That's a great question. Yes, you can see it in the Decentraland. You can see that in the 3D viewer, you can see the monkey with a white structure. So it's fine. It's just a monkey without any cool texture or pattern. So it will be displayed in white. Other materials seems pretty fine for me. So now I'll take this example number 2 and go back to Decentraland Builder. Here, I'll destroy the provoke building. And in my asset pack number 2, I'll press edit and go for add assets and drag and drop this new object that we generated. Import, it says again all these parts and save asset pack. Yay, keep working. And now the moment of truth. Oh, I'm so scared. Okay, it worked. So now the builder accepted the model. I can first, before I'll publish it, I can preview it to see how it works. And you can see that I can't enter these two parts, which have a collider on top of them. So I can't enter it, but this one, I'm capable of entering it because I didn't apply any collider in there. So yes, it's a bit shame that I've textured the walls inside of the flat, which will never be seen, but whatever. Now I'm going to publish it to the land here, and we can see if it works or not. And I think that would be all from my side. And now there is a programming fun with Mayur. Woohoo!
Yeah. Let's see how it looks in the parcel. And
Yeah, I'm also curious. It never works when you are showcasing it like live. When you are testing it, it works perfectly, everything. And then when it's okay, so this seems fine. Yep, and this as well. So, and here you can see the monkey inside. Okay. Woo! So it's working. So do you have any questions, guys? I'm sorry, I know it was a bit fast, and if you didn't or don't know the software, then you are a bit losing yourself in there. But yeah, I just wanted to show you a very fast workflow.
yeah, like I must say, like a big round of applause to Hiri. Like I know this is like some cutting edge workflows he has taught us in this short amount of time. So incredible job, Hiri.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are so lucky to have Hiri in our community. Like he like all the like 3D modeling, like 3D modeling apart from like 3D printing stuff, he is doing like is very cutting edge. So that's awesome.
Thank you, Mayur.
I'm just waiting. He was talking about some mushroom 3D printing, so I'm just waiting first.
Yeah. When we will do a mushroom printed building in the Decentraland, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, so like a small point, I see some like discussion around 3D file format. So so Decentraland is built on top of like Unity game engine, and I'll cover like some of the how the components and entities are structured in this world. But they have chosen GLTF file format as preferred. So like as architects, we deal with like .revit or .3dm or .blend files. But this GLTF and USDC are like emerging file formats for all this metaverse. And one of the thing which like GLTF provides is you can also store animations apart from 3D model. So you can say walk, run, or something. And while packaging that GLTF, you can store it and then you can retrieve it in this metaverses. Like mainly like this is used by like VFX and a lot of people in the film industry, but it's getting mainstream with this metaverse creation. And so GLTF has JSON format, so it's human readable. And I can see this is how the scene is constructed, and then these are the elements, wall, or anything. What's the texture of that wall? All is that in that tree hierarchy. And GLB is the same content but in binary format, which is way more storage efficient because like computers understand binary. It's for humans. We need to create that JSON data. So yeah, that's why this metaverse is committed to GLTF.
Cool. Thanks very much for that.
Yeah, awesome. Any questions? And like I don't know how many of you guys have tried converting your asset in the asset pack, and are you guys any facing issues? Like this workshop is more focused on creators and less on developers. That's why like a majority of our content was what are various workflows, how to get started in Decentraland, and like, and I'm just gonna give like very high level overview about like what are some cool things you can do with the coding aspect in this metaverses. But before we do that, I want to ensure everyone that they are able to create their first Decentraland metaverse spaces. They are able to port their assets there. So any issues you guys are facing?
Excuse me.
Mhm.
I have one doubt that I have previously also asked that can I upload my 3D model in the metaverse for free?
Yeah, like as we showed in the builder, you can upload any of your 3D model for free and share the URL link with your friends. But you can't like upload your space in the main metaverse as you don't own the land.
I'm just reading through the comments and they are so funny when I was describing the layout there and creating the buyer's place and stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah, like it was so cool, like a lot of wow moments in this workshop for sure. Like the way like you integrated that plugin, also like a lot of like big lessons learned. I'm not sure like if like I have been in that phase where I'm trying that for the first time, and things like getting the texture right, optimizing the model, like all this like are several hours of time potentially being wasted. Like you covered a lot of that content, so it saves a lot of time of all the participants. So amazing.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Any other question? Come on, guys. Like by the end of this year, my goal is to crack how to make workshops more interactive. But it was like good chat in the Zoom chat was very fun today.
Yeah, the Zoom chat was amazing. Actually, for the competition we were talking about, if you'll have some model you would like to share, we have a form for you where your email and name or Discord name and that URL that we were describing for the scene pool should be put. And this is the way how you can share your designs with us already ready for Decentraland. And yeah, if somebody of you manages to adjust or create model like that, we gonna pick one of those and upload it for our parcel in the Decentraland for some time, for at least 1 week.
Yeah, we would like to exhibit your work. So like, just so that we clear, like the form is very straightforward. All you need to do is get your assets in the online builder, and on the share link, it creates a URL, and just submit that in the Google form. We will evaluate it, and whoever wins will contact you on your email and get your assets on the main Decentraland metaverse. So then you can organize a party in your own design space in our parcel. Sounds good. Any other questions? Any other feedback? Actually, yeah, like before I want to jump to the last, we have a lot of retention here. Any feedback on things that we could improve or things we should elaborate more? So, because if I am on your side, I could foresee that so many tools, so many things covered in such short period of time.
Yeah.
So, what are some things you would like us to improve?
The whole session was great, Kiri. You did so good. Like, the only thing was we did not know the software previously, so we'll have to learn it, and yeah, we'll look at the video again, and yeah, it was great. One question that I have is, are we going to get any certificates after this workshop?
Hiri was suggesting to get a PO-op for all the attendees, but
we actually, what we can do is that we can go to the Decentraland and take a selfie in front of that crazy part I've just did, and that might be a visual for a PO-op, right?
Yeah, that would be cool. Yes.
sounds fun.
Okay, so, but for that we would need also all ETH addresses, right? So we can, or emails.
Yeah, like we can create the PO-op, and for all the people who registered and showed up in the session, we can email claim your PO-op on this link.
Okay, so I'll create a form in the meantime when you will be describing the coding part, Mayur.
Perfect.
Okay. It will be very short Google form, just your email to claim a PO-op. Okay.
No, like already we have that from the Eventbrite. We don't need their email ID.
Ah, so
okay.
We have all the emails. Okay,
yep.
In that case, it's fine.
Yeah. So Iona has asked, like, can you recommend some tools for beginners for 3D?
Blender.
All right, we should. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No. Go on.
No, like if you have any playlist or course for Blender or any modeling tools you want to share.
Okay, I'll look for it and add it to the useful links from this workshop, so everybody will have access to get to know how the Blender works. Yep.
Perfect. And so Patrice is asking, maybe I think it's about POAP. So if you guys want to explain what is POAP? POAP. Did I lose you? Okay.
What?
I think, yeah. What is POAP?
Proof of attendance, cool stuff to have and to show that you've attended this party. And maybe then if you'll have some questions or something you would like to share with us or ask us, you can always show this POAP that you've been here. So we will treat you as somebody who already knows some basics and maybe help you a bit more than just the regular people who just come and want some answers.
Yeah, and like in your like co-op, you can create like a collectible. Like you attended our workshop of Decentraland, you attended CityDAO's event XYZ. So in your wallet, there's an interface in co-op, like their website where you can see all the collections, and it's a new way of like shared, like people tie that to their identity. So interesting. Yeah, if you haven't heard about POAP, maybe this is your first POAP you will collect. Awesome. To I saw one point. To Monil's point of organizing more event like this, recommendation one, check out our YouTube channel. We have a lot of this kind of workshops already out there. Recommendation two, maybe someone can share. Join our Discord. We have a lot of these conversations going on. When is our next event? We are aiming to create like one such workshops every month, and yeah, it's the way we can onboard a lot of creators in the metaverse is through things like this. So do join, do invite your friends. I don't know, we don't have incentive for you to invite your friends, but hopefully soon. Architects have a big role in this metaverse. That's what we have been trying to say since last 6 months. So hopefully you can help us spread out and onboard a lot of creators in this space. Yeah, like so Pedro, it has been like in our discussion. So we are trying to create like a boot camp for AC and developers about getting into blockchain and smart contracts. It's gonna be like 3 to 4 weekend thing where we like teach and have like use cases how you can use smart contract for apartment rental, subscription, consultancy. A lot of interesting ways you can use blockchain in AC. But you see, we are very stretched thin in a lot of activities we are doing. But I'll keep you posted, and yeah, we'll also share in our community. There was also a tutorial on my channel where like Theodunas taught how you can use like create NFT or BIM from Grasshopper. I need to check and I can share the video on our Discord as well. So a lot of BIM blockchain integration as well. Cool. And there's big creator economy, and I don't know in other parts of the world, but especially in Miami, New York, like a lot of developers are now using NFT not only as marketing but also selling the units and things like that. So architects or creators who has this kind of knowledge will have an advantage, and also like things become quite innovative. I was talking to one person where what if all the apartment units are sold as NFT, and architects, engineers, construction developers have a like let's say 1% fee as a royalty. So all the times the units are being resold like $1 million, and like you can have that 1% royalty fee for lifetime for all the exchanges. That's gonna be a game changer for architecture firm, like passive income for life. So things are very interesting, and there's a lot of potential for innovation. I wanted some fractional ownership in Provoke, but we'll, we'll do something about it.
Yeah.
Oh, and I saw Iona. So we we have one session on our YouTube on UI UX for getting started in UI UX. So I don't know if you might find it useful. So
Thanks. I will check the.
yeah, like we are trying to actively have conversations like what are some like disciplines architects can learn and like leverage their knowledge and also train them, be it developer, be it UI UX, be it blockchain or smart contracts, be it metaverse creators. So
Yeah, amazing.
awesome. I would like to know your feedback since you are unmuted. Like Any things we could improve?
I mean, I'm not a developer, but like this fosters a lot of development for the metaverse and for the NFTs, and maybe you should promote more the event or something. Yeah, because it's the first event that empowers the architects, the NFT creators. Yeah. So
Awesome. Is there any like forum you suggest us to like publicize or reach out?
I don't know. I really don't know. I will think about that. And yeah.
Great. All right. We have like small segment. So at the risk of overloading you guys with more information, uh, we'll do a short segment. Like we were intending like this session so that you get more kind of a exploratory approach where you know what are the possibilities and what are the things you can do with this metaverses. So we want to share this. All right. So whatever other feedback you have, please feel free to share it in the chat. We would like to work and improve. All right. So you see my builder. Hiri mentioned about smart items and asset. So um, let's take a step back. We see games and we see all the dynamic interactions you could see in those games, and it hooks you up, it engages you. So as 3D asset creators, what are some lessons learned from that industry? Like one could argue a lot of games are metaverse in itself. But like if we want to translate those principles of engagement in our spaces we design or create, how can we do that? So there are items like smart items which help us do that, and I would foresee like as we are moving ahead with more metaverse development, apart from like 3D asset creation, like various animations tied to it. Maybe a virtual avatar is a good example where you're talking, your avatar speaks, walks, run, and those kind of like people tie sometimes like the personal identity in customizing that avatar. So if we are talking about metaverse homes or spaces, apart from customization, uh, let's say I enter the space, like Hidi showed us like the collider, which is like quite crucial, and like you just don't want like any space where people can go through. So but also like what are the physics you want to implement in your metaverse spaces, where if I want to enter your gallery, when I click on the door, how can I create my asset where there's like closed room uh, state of my model, and there is like open door room state of my model, or the door has multiple animations. And that's where like GLTF, like true power of GLTF, apart from like very efficient 3D asset storage format, is like you can store, okay, animation type 1, closed door, animation type 2, open door. And then if you create that, uh, you can now trigger, like there's a thing called event graph. Man, I'm getting into this rabbit hole. So you can trigger various events dependent on each other. So let's say if Hiri opens a door, then suddenly the lights in the main living room turns on. So there's an event relationship where event like association type A is triggered and dependent on association type B. And now things become interesting where, where you can have like data driven things where, okay, if there are 10 people, turn on 5 lights. If there are 2 people, turn on 2 lights. So there is this kind of interesting game mechanism engagement, which we need, which is another skill as architects or creators need to start thinking and learn. And that's why I was initially saying abstracting principles of engagement from gaming industry. All right, enough of my rant. Let's do some hands-on. So I mentioned about this smart assets, and I talked about this animation type A and B. So this, like all the, when you see clicks smart, all the thing with this, like, I don't know what this symbol called. This kind of icon are called smart items, and these are different than regular items. So if I'm going too fast, feel free to post on the chat. The thing is, I can't see the chat, so feel free to unmute when you want to say something. All right, so here it says speed, trigger, and then, okay, since like I can have like trigger events. Okay, when this, I don't know about this video stream, when video stream starts, this should return to the start. So it has various position encourage. Let me get another smart item to, yeah, so this goes up, this goes in the horizontal direction. Let me, all right, so how, now we need to define the triggers, what activates what and what they will do. So if I say this goes on top, this should be at the extreme. So that's my vertical magic rock. If it goes to end, and when start is reached, so when it goes to the end, go back again to its original position. So yeah, what's the trigger for this? Yeah, it starts on click. So if I want to test this out, see, like when this goes up, this goes down, and the trigger for this. So I still need, all right. Oops. So this is like basic smart items 101, where if you want to think, wait, what happened? Okay, my Coinbase wallet, ignore it. All right, brief overview about what is smart items, what are the event relationship, and in order for that object, so that object might have like simple two-state relationship. If you want to read more about that smart items, there's like Decentraland has really good documentation, so you can read this. And yeah, like you can make your own event graph, you can make your own custom animations, various state, like, so there's like Boolean state, gradient state, like integer, like you can have all this kind of data types and create animations. Simple as that. New animator, close clip, looping false. This is how you define. I was talking about the door model earlier, so this is how you add new door. And if I click on it, you can change the state of the door. Yep. So you can create interesting experience in Metaverse with this smart item. Okay, let me see the chat. Okay, cool. All right, so next is Hiri showed us how to get your custom assets, how to upload in the Metaverse. But you might have seen Metaverses with a lot of cool things like, okay, can we create a game in this Metaverse? Or what if like I want to create a custom avatar who, whenever I enter my Metaverse space, they talk to me, you know, like an NPC in games. Or I want to create like a custom this is like collectible, where, you know, like a Mario in Metaverse, for example, where there are like coins or things you can collect in your Metaverse space. So all this custom functionality, if you want to implement, you need that SDK. software development kit. And how you install that, I'll show you briefly. So great resource is this awesome repo. Like, start it for kids, save it in your bookmark if you're in Decentraland, because 99% of your job, like the starting point you'll find here, where let's say you want to create a basic physics game of bouncing balls. All you need is click here for kid. I'll show how to do that. And if you want, like, even let's say you don't like the physics or animation, you just want this house asset. It's very easy. You go to their GitHub, you go to their model, you get their GLB file. Incredible. And that's when I was showing, like I was telling earlier, like if you want to build like the basic Genesis Plaza, which even like this escape room tutorial is there. They have a Genesis Plaza asset as well. So like the main scene you see when you enter the Decentraland Metaverse, you can even like get that asset. All right, so these are the references you can start building on top of it. But how do you get started? So 3 steps, not even like simple. So if you haven't heard about Node, I would suggest like watching a YouTube video where you need to install Node in your computer. But once you install Node, let me get so I'm using Visual Code. You can use any other editor. So first, like you can, should I create a new folder? Okay. Yeah, let me get, all right. So I'm creating a new folder and I'm creating that directory. So I'm inside this. All you need to do is first click here. npm install dot like /g stands for global. So if you just want local, just remove this. I have already installed it, so I won't do it. Once you do this, it will install this Decentraland CLI in your computer command line interface. Once you do that, let's say you want to create like a basic scene. All you need to do is DCL init. So you see my folder is empty. Just check what happens next. So it's gonna ask, it should ask. Okay, yeah. So there are various categories here. So one is scene, smart item, smart variable, and library. All we want to do is like, let's create a basic scene in using our SDK. And this is all locally. So I create, and if like smart item is, maybe we need, if people are interested, we should do an advanced workshop. But yeah, smart, even you can create like the whole smart item from scratch using the SDK in your computer locally. So they have basic scene templates. One is like video streaming, both basic interaction. So we are using like very standard example of cube spanner, which whenever you click, it spawns a cube. So what it's now doing is downloading a template with the scene, installing all the libraries it need. All right, you see, we have the whole scene. So Node modules has all the libraries it needs. Source is like the main logic of our whole scene lies here. It's called game.ts, stands for TypeScript. And another, we are on the verge of introducing a lot of new things, and I'm worried. All right, but let's do this. So TS TypeScript, so it needs TypeScript config.json. Package.json has all the libraries and dependencies, and scene.json. So let's say I create a scene here. Let me, scene.json, if I want to upload it on my parcel, I just changed my coordinate. So I don't know. Here is parcel was 142 or minus something. Once I do all my local testing, I say publish from here, and instead I can create on my parcel just from locally. I don't need even a builder here. But before that, uh, let's see how. So what are you expecting here? So in the game TS, they have a system, they have an engine, and they have a small cube function where whatever XYZ coordinate you have, it creates a new cube. So constant new entity and cube, and it adds to the engine. I should explain that, but let's first see DC. So when I type DCL start, it's gonna create locally. It's compiled my scene, and whoa. All right, we are in our scene locally, no builder. If you see at the top URL, it's local hosted 1800. And if I click, my bandwidth is, if I click on this cube, the logic is it will spawn another cube. Oh, it's all over here. All right, so you see, now this is how you can create and deploy scene. So if I want to, let's say, if you have a custom GLB file, all I need to do is new entity and refer to my GLB model, and then I say, so these are called components. So whatever you were doing, like moving an asset from place A to B, like when you are in developer mode, like you do by this like components like transform, scale, rotate. So all these are components, and those components are applied to entities. So like all the 3D, like here it's cube, you can have your own building, and once you apply those transformation, you need to add to the scene, like like in the engine. So you do like engine add entity cube. So if you have a house, you do add whatever the name of that entity is. That's how you add custom objects in the scene. But as I was telling earlier, you can have like interesting things where, let's say you have a scene and you want to say, I want to create a gated access. So open this room only if this particular user owns the NFT. So I think in the repo, they have NFT scanner. So you can use and build on top of it. So it the doors only opens when a particular user has the token from the smart contract. You're gonna have also have, okay, if you're creating an event, if you have 100 tokens, then you can get access to this event, like, ticketing way. Then you can even have, like, let's say ArchiDAO is doing exhibition and we want to exhibit all of your NFT. We can integrate all of your NFT using just the smart contract and create an exhibition. And if people want to buy it, they can click on it, it redirects to OpenSea and they can buy it. So here we can create that exhibition. We can also create, like, what if people in the space works together, modifies a 3D model, and then whatever collectively we make that 3D model, we want to mint that as an NFT. So you can even drive that logic in. And a lot of games, events, whatever you're seeing changes dynamically based on current weather. data. Let's say you build a space in this, I don't know, build a space which mimics like Chicago's weather. It's snowing in real life. The scene mimics that snow effect. So you can have that logic by using the weather API. And yeah, piano floor. All right, a lot of things I've said, and enough to leave this on that note. We hope you find this useful.
Yeah, I found it very useful. Thank you very much, Mayur, for this introduction. It's amazing. And it's great that you can implement this hard coding inside, and that's perfect. So thank you for this. And I'm super excited. If you ever plan some advanced workshop, then count me definitely in, because this is something perfect. And yeah, I would really like to see your skills in practice, and it's perfect. So great job, Mayur, for introducing this thing. Thank you.
I appreciate, and I really appreciate everyone sticking all the 3 hours with us. And this has been a really good workshop for us. I appreciate a lot. Feel free to join our Discord community to continue the engagement. And I hope to see you all in future sessions we organize. We want to make this accessible and scalable. So feel free to invite your friends and share your learnings, or tag us on Instagram or LinkedIn or Twitter. We want to amplify our efforts in this space.
Yep. Thank you, everybody, for attending. And if you have some questions or some feedback, please tell us. Or if you have some 3D model and you have some questions about how to implement it to Decentraland, yeah, we can quickly discuss it.
Yep. And follow our Mars challenge updates on our Discord. That's gonna be cool. So we're doing some cutting edge work there. So, or if like
Yeah.
the best part of our community is like, even if you don't want to contribute, you can just listen in all these conversations and learn a lot from those. So yep.
Yeah, for the Mars competition, yeah, we never had enough time during the workshop to talk about it. But I've noticed at the beginning that there were some people talking about AR Mars something. So we are actually working on a challenge which is founded or semi-founded by NASA and its partners. And it's about coming up with scenarios and objects for astronauts to train them in VR, so they'll know, or they'll train all the potential fuck ups that may happen on Mars when they'll be setting up camp or repairing stuff or doing extravehicular activity, EVA. So if you are interested in collaborating with us, join our Discord, and there is in Project Stop this NASA XR challenge. And you can write there and join this.
Cool.
Great session. Thank you very much. For me, this was a first time seeing many of these things. It was very informative. 3 hours of mind-blowing stuff. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That feedback made our day. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of content on YouTube. Please check out. Like, we cover from basics and a lot of other metaverses. So like, and if you have anything which we didn't cover, which you'd like to know more about, also share it on our Discord. We hopefully will create a tutorial or a workshop to address that.
One thing that we are looking to do and see if these metaverse platforms is capable of doing that is integrating BIM data and live interactions with the structure. I'm guessing you've been on that case before.
Yeah, I did one experiment recently where you connect like IoT data in this Decentraland metaverse. So like you can control not only like your switches and lights in real life from the metaverse, but also if you are like a shop owner, you can keep track about like products which you place in this metaverse, which are some products which the community likes or your viewers like. So getting all that data analytics, and also you can't be in metaverse 24/7. So like we have this LED metrics where you can keep track on is your metaverse land crowded or not. So
You say you've done an experiment. Where have you recorded something about that? Can we see something about that?
yeah, can you maybe send me a message or something? I'll send you a link of the video.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll message you on this on Discord.
Perfect.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
All right, that's it.
Yep. It's
Cool.
Amazing, guys, that you stayed with us for such a long time. I was expecting that, yeah, we had 19 or so participants, and I was expecting that over time it will be less and less people, but you really stayed till the end, which is like a great success. Thank you. We really appreciate that you spent 3 hours of your weekend with us.
Validates we were doing a good job.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's not stretch this. Let's wrap up. And it was amazing, and I really appreciate all of you joining. So bye. Have a great weekend.